Hello students and anyone else who may be watching from home. My name is Mr. Borges, and today we're going to be working in TinkerCAD doing our next lesson called Creating Holes. Now this is just right after we learned to move the camera, and we saw a model of, I think that was supposed to be Elvis behind the curtain. So here we go now. We're going to be learning about holes. So here we have a wrench right here. Here's our objective is to create something like this, and you can see there's a really special shaped hole. It's in the right shape at the right place to make this tool work, right? To make this wrench. And we're the ones who are going to make that hole. So we're going to follow the directions here. Creating holes. In this project, you're going to learn how to remove material from another shape using the hole feature. Click the next button. Creating holes. It's time to create some holes. So let's get started. Instructions. We're going to drag a blue polygon shape to the work plane and place it in the outlined area in orange. Here's the outlined area in orange, but I don't know what the heck is this blue polygon thing. If you don't know what to do, you can't figure it out, click Show Hint. It says here, you may need to scroll down in the shapes list to find the hexagonal prism shape. Here's the shapes list. We may need to scroll down. There we go. Hexagonal prism, in which they just called it blue polygon. That's what it's titled here. Blue polygon. I'm going to go ahead and pull this out and put it on the target. Now actually I missed a little bit. You can try again, or use the arrow keys like we talked about in the first lesson. So I'm going to use the arrow keys just to give this a little nudge and to get it on target. It's a good idea to look at it from different directions, and we learned how to do that in camera moves in the last lesson also. All right, so it seems like we've done what they've wanted us to do. It says here, step 2. Did you know that you can change any shape into a hole tool? Yep, you sure can. So select the polygon. I've already got it selected. You can tell because it was highlighted in blue. I'm going to do a normal left click on it. Select the polygon by left clicking it, and select the hole option in the inspector window in the near upper right corner of the editor window. Here's the editor window. Here's the upper right corner. It's over here. So this is the inspector window, this thing right here. And you have a choice, right? So if I select this blue polygon, I have a choice. It can be a solid shape. That's how it started out. Or I can also tell it, hey, your job is to become a hole. To become a hole in something else by clicking on this hole. Now I've told that shape that it's going to be a hole. Now you can see it's see-through now, but it's not a hole in anything. It's just the idea of a hole, right? We still have to tell TinkerCAD, hey, this idea of a hole that we're trying to make, what is this hole supposed to be in? Because that's up to us too. We got to control that. So I just clicked undo to put it back. So that's on to the next step. And we show something like this. And you can always click on these pictures to get an idea that things are going the right way. Continue to the next step. Let's go ahead and do that. It says, you're almost done. Well, it's pretty good. So now you have both your shapes, but you need to group them to remove the hole material. Right? This is what we're going for. So we're going to select both shapes by pressing and holding the shift button. Now I already have the polygon selected. I'm going to deselect it just by clicking off on the work plane. By holding the shift button, then click on each shape with your left mouse button. So the idea is by shift clicking, I can select multiple shapes at the same time. So right now I have the wrench selected. Right now I have the polygon selected. If I want to select them both at the same time, I can hold down shift, click on the wrench, and click on the polygon. And now you can see the blue outline goes around everything together. I've got both shapes selected at the same time. Right? By doing that and then grouping them. Now I group them together by clicking the group button in the toolbar menu. By grouping a hole with a solid, that's how you tell TinkerCAD, hey, this idea of a hole is supposed to be in this other shape over here. And where's this group button they're talking about? If you don't know, right, just hover. I don't know where it is. I forget. Okay, hover over these things. This one's mirror. What is this? Align? No. What is this? Ungroup? No, that's not it. What is this? Group? Okay, there it is. It's group. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and click on this. Don't watch this button, okay? Watch what's going on right here. It happens pretty fast. What's going to happen is it's going to combine, it's going to group, it's going to combine the idea of a hole and a solid into one shape, and that's going to make it so that, so right now, wait a second, whoops. Right, so right now, the hole, oh geez, Right now, the hole is not a hole in the wrench. It's just the idea of a hole still. So what we want to do is by selecting them both at the same time, I want you to get this idea of shift clicking. So shift click, shift click. By shift clicking both of these things and then grouping them together, you should watch what happens. Okay, ready, set, go. Right, now you can see I've got those two shapes have combined, and what's happened is the idea of a hole is removed the material from the other object, actually making a hole in that thing. That's the same way they made this hole over here. And I can continue on to the next step, throw some confetti up in the air, and that's pretty good. And then when you get to this step, I want you to raise your hand. I'm going to come around the room and just take a look at your wrench. Right, and make sure that you were careful. Made sure that you did a nice job when you put this thing together and that things turned out the way that they should have. Right? If they hadn't and you need to fix it, you can always just click on this and ungroup. Ungroup those two things. Now, if they're still both selected though, so by selecting only one or the other of them, I can remove it, reposition it, do something else. Right? Every once in a while I see kids that haven't positioned their shapes very carefully, and then what I do is I ask them to fix-upify that and reposition it. Right, if something went wrong, hey, it's no big deal, let's fix-upify it so that it's perfecto, and then we move on to the next one. Alrighty, so that's it for this one. You should have a nice wrench that looks like this, not the one that I see on the screen right there. And raise your hand, I'll come around and take a look at it. Alrighty folks, that's it for this one. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.